Can you still do this at 80? Then you have a chance to live much longer than you think. But let's not kid ourselves. Are you really sure your body won't betray you? That your mind will stay just as sharp and your hands just as strong? Most people start to fade after 60. Day by day they lose strength, endurance, and mobility. Their minds slowly become clouded. Their memory starts to fail. They stop feeling like full-fledged members of society. Some still cling to an active lifestyle, but deep down they feel it. Something isn't right. Getting out of bed becomes harder, joints ache, and a simple trip to the store feels like a challenge. And here's the key question. Are you sure this isn't happening to you? Be honest with yourself. When was the last time you truly felt energetic? Not just fine, but so full of life that you wanted to move, make plans, and enjoy every moment. Can you right now stand up without assistance, walk downstairs, then climb back up without gasping for breath or holding on to the railing? Are you ready to handle any unexpected situation? A slippery sidewalk, sudden dizziness, or the need to react quickly? Or will you find yourself helpless, dependent on the kindness of others? If you can't confidently say yes to all of these questions, consider it a wake-up call. Old age isn't about years, it's a state of being, a state that many people bring upon themselves. No one becomes weak overnight. It's a slow decline, beginning long before you even notice it. Day by day, the body weakens, the brain gets used to passivity, and muscles deteriorate. Most people live with the illusion that they still have time. They tell themselves, "Nothing terrible has happened yet, so why worry?" But then, one day, they wake up and realize they can't anymore. They can't get out of bed without pain. They can't remember where they left their keys. They can't step outside without fearing their legs will give out. But there's another path. Some people, even at 80, still travel, run, read, learn new things, and fully enjoy life. They don't just survive, they live. They do things that seem impossible for their age. So, do you have a chance? We won't lull you to sleep with fairy tales about things magically getting better. No, but if you can still balance on one foot, get up without using your hands, and focus your mind, you do have a chance. But only if you start acting now. Because if you don't, one day you'll wake up and realize it's already too late. In this video, we won't just talk. We're here to wake you up. You may think everything is fine. But the reality is, you could lose control of your body sooner than you expect. You're used to believing that your body obeys you. You get out of bed, walk, pick up a spoon, button your shirt. It all feels natural until one day it doesn't. At first it seems trivial. A slight dizziness, a tingling sensation in your legs after sleep, a bit of awkwardness when climbing the stairs. You blame it on fatigue, age, or the weather. But here's what you need to understand. These aren't just small inconveniences. They're the first steps toward losing your independence, and you might not even notice when it begins. Your legs could fail you, leaving you bedridden. One morning you might wake up and realize you simply can't get up. Your muscles too weak, your joints worn down, your nerves no longer transmitting signals as they used to. You could fall, break your hip, and never walk again. This isn't just a theoretical risk. 80% of people over 70 who break a hip die within a year. Why? Because it's not just a fracture. It's a sentence to immobility, blood clots, pneumonia, and complete decline. You could suddenly go blind, lose coordination, or forget your own children's names. A stroke doesn't send a warning. One moment you're peacefully drinking tea, and the next, you've lost your ability to speak, to move, to recognize your loved ones. And this isn't a rare occurrence. It's statistics. Do you know who most often ends up in nursing homes? Not those without children, not those without money, but those who once believed this could never happen to them, those who put off taking care of their bodies, those who said, "I feel fine, why would I worry?" those who didn't notice how they were slowly but surely losing their strength. But there's good news. Right now, you still have a chance to prevent this. If you can balance on one foot, if you can stand up from the floor without using your hands, if you can climb a flight of stairs without stopping, it means your body still listens to you. The real question is, for how much longer? Most people don't realize their body is already sending distress signals. They live under the illusion that their health is fine. If they feel pain, it's just fatigue. If walking feels difficult, it's bad weather. If they get dizzy, it's probably just my blood pressure. It'll pass. And so, day after day, week after week, year after year, until one day, something finally breaks for good. No one ends up in intensive care suddenly. A stroke, a heart attack, leg failure, complete helplessness. These don't just happen out of nowhere. They begin long before the critical moment. The problem is, you never noticed that your body had been screaming for help all along. Here are just a few warning signs that something is about to go very wrong. 1. Do you struggle to get up in the morning? If your body feels like it's filled with lead, your muscles ache, and your joints feel stiff, this isn't just aging. It means your muscles are atrophying faster than you think. They're losing strength, becoming weak, and failing to respond properly to your brain's signals. You might not notice it, until one day, you simply can't get up without help. 2. Do your hands shake when you pick up a glass? A slight tremor in your fingers might seem harmless. You tell yourself, it's nothing, maybe I'm just a little nervous. But in reality, this could be the early onset of degenerative nerve disorders. This is how Parkinson's disease begins. It's how the brain starts to lose control over movement. If you already notice this symptom, don't ignore it. 3. Do you forget why you walked into a room? Seems like a minor thing, right? But this is one of the first signs of neural degradation. If you frequently find yourself forgetting why you opened the fridge, where you left your keys, or what you were about to say, this is a serious warning sign that your brain is no longer functioning the way it used to, and if you do nothing, it will only get worse. 4. Do you struggle to stand up without support? Try standing up from a chair without using your hands. Can you do it? Now imagine that one day, you simply won't be able to. Weak legs aren't just a minor inconvenience. They're a one-way ticket to immobility. They increase your risk of falling, breaking a bone, and losing your independence. If you're already pushing yourself up using your hands, leaning on walls, or grabbing furniture, muscle degradation has already begun. If you recognize even one of these signs in yourself, act immediately. Ignoring them is the same as signing your own fate. But here's the good news. There are simple yet powerful techniques that can slow aging, restore strength, and prevent disability and dependence on others. If you want to stay active, you must take control of 3 key areas. You can take pills, visit doctors, and hope someone will take care of you. But none of that will save you from aging. The only way to preserve yourself is to take action. And to do that, you must focus on 3 essential areas. Without them, staying healthy and independent is impossible. 1. Physical activity. If you stop moving, you start dying. Aging doesn't begin at 60 or 70. Aging begins the day you stop moving. Your body is a complex machine, and if you don't use it, it starts to rust and break down. Think inactivity is just temporary weakness? No, it's the beginning of a dangerous process that leads to muscle atrophy. You lose the ability to walk. Bone weakening. Fractures become a real threat. Heart decline. Blood circulation slows, starving your organs of oxygen. Dementia. The brain gets less nutrition, leading to cognitive decline. The good news? You can stop this process. What should you do? Walk, at least 20 minutes a day. A simple walk can add years to your life. Squats, balance exercises. They keep your muscles strong and reduce the risk of falls. Any activity, dancing, swimming, stretching. The key is to move every single day. If you don't take care of your body, one day it will fail you. 2. Mental activity. If you don't use your brain, it will deteriorate. Ever wonder why some people stay sharp at 90 while others start forgetting things at 60? It's not genetics. It's how they've used their brain throughout their life. If the brain isn't challenged, it begins to break down. What does that look like? At first, small memory lapses. Then, difficulty concentrating. Eventually, confusion, disorientation, and inability to understand what's happening around you. Your brain needs constant work. If you don't challenge it, it will atrophy, just like an unused muscle. How to keep your brain strong? Read books. Every day. Not social media, not news. Books that require focus. Learn new words. Study a foreign language. Solve crosswords. Play chess. Solve puzzles. These activities force your brain to work and create new connections. If you stop challenging your mind, it will start to fade. And one day, you may wake up in a world where you don't even remember your own children's names. 3. Social activity. The less you interact, the faster old age destroys you. Loneliness kills. Studies show that socially isolated people die an average of 10 years earlier. And not just because of depression, loneliness accelerates physical aging. When a person is alone, they stop taking care of themselves. There's no one to stay in shape for, no one to share thoughts, laugh, or feel emotions with. Are you at risk? You have no one to have a deep conversation with. You rarely leave the house. Your social circle has shrunk to just the TV and a couple of relatives who call occasionally. How to fix it? Join a group, hobby clubs, sports groups, social events. Reconnect with old friends. Talk to younger people. They have the energy you need. The choice is yours. You can remain a full, vibrant person, or become a shadow, waiting for the end. Old age is not a number in your passport. It's the process of decline that begins when you stop moving, stop thinking, and stop engaging with the world. Either you take control of your life now, or you wait for society to write you off. Story number 1, paralyzed overnight. He was sure everything was fine. 68 years old, a lifetime spent working in an office, every morning, at his desk, lunch at the nearest cafe, evenings, TV and the couch, a quiet, ordinary life. Yes, he had gained weight. Yes, his heart occasionally ached. But wasn't that normal for his age? "I'm not 20 anymore, what do you expect?" he told his friends. He never paid attention to his diet, never exercised. He thought sports were for the young. He was too old for that. Then one day, he simply couldn't get out of bed. The first warning, a slight dizziness. He blamed it on fatigue. Seconds later, he couldn't move his right hand. Then, he couldn't even say what was happening. A stroke. Paralysis on one side of his body. Loss of speech. Complete dependence on others. Today, he can't even hold a spoon. His life is now spent between the hospital and home, waiting for someone to feed him, turn him over, help him do the things he once did on his own. And all of this because he did nothing while he still could. Story number 2. I still have time. She was always active, took care of the house, went for walks, even enjoyed gardening. But every time someone suggested she focus on her health, exercise, or take preventive measures, she shrugged it off. "I move around. I'm not just lying on the couch. I still have time." And she truly felt fine. Until one night, she fell. It happened in the bathroom. She slipped on the floor. A sharp pain. She tried to stand up, but she couldn't. She lay there on the cold floor for hours before someone found her. A broken hip. For a young person, this is just an injury. For the elderly, it's a death sentence. Out of 100 people over 70 who suffer this fracture, more than half die within a year. She was no exception. Months in bed, complications, her body shutting down. She didn't survive. And all of this because she thought she still had time. And there are millions of stories like these. People who ignored the first warning signs. People who postponed taking care of themselves. People who believed their problems would come someday later. But there's another side to the story. There are those who choose to live. Those who start taking care of themselves in time. They are still living full, active lives. They travel. They exercise. They don't rely on doctors. They don't need help. They can take care of themselves. They don't wait for their bodies to fail. They don't hope to get lucky. They took control of their own lives. Live, or wait until it's too late. Stay active, or wake up one day helpless. Be the one who decides your fate, or let doctors decide it for you. If you want to live longer and better, start now, and don't leave your loved ones in the dark. Share this video, because it might be their only chance.